I decided to vacate that area where those guys were. I don't know what they're doing, but it seems weird to me. They're like seemingly walking around on these ridges like I am, which is fine, but it seems like they're just shooting their guns randomly. I can't see where they are shooting. So I can't say that for sure. They might just be, I don't know if they're shooting out randomly into the forest, which would be seemingly very irresponsible to me, or they could be shooting at specific targets. I can't tell. Anyway, felt weird being close to them because I couldn't figure out what they were doing. I actually yelled out to them and say, "Hey, I'm over here. I just want to make sure you're not shooting in my direction." So anyway, it's strange. I've never seen that before, where people are just on the top of mountains shooting out from the top of the mountains. That's not very normal to me. Anyway, so hopefully they don't just keep kind of following me around. Not on purpose, but just like I tried to get away from them, and now if they come over here, then I'll have to move again. But hopefully they're far enough away that I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, found this cool spot. I haven't actually been to this spot before, I don't think. Not that I can remember. There's so many spots in this mountain. I'm going to do as many readings here as I can. If I don't keep getting chased away and all my time gets away from me. There's an awesome spot right back there. Unfortunately, I thought the signal would be better up on top of these things, but it's not good enough to live stream. It's probably barely good enough to do the slide changes, but I think at least that's working, so that's good. I'm gonna have a lot of uploads to do when I get home, but oh well. So I tried starting this reading at that last place, but I felt uncomfortable being so close to where they were shooting their guns, so I decided to drive away and get a little bit farther. So anyway, so I'm going to start over with that reading I was trying to do. This is not comfortable. I should get a little bit better of a spot because this is going to wear on me real fast. See, there's some, I just need to find a flat spot. That place I was in just was poking me. Alright, this should be good. I am kind of on the edge, but it's not like a complete drop off. There's like a slight outward trend to the cliff, so I don't feel too bad about being here. All right, see if we can actually get a reading done today. I was hoping to get like a whole week done, maybe even 2 weeks, man. But at the rate I'm going, time is slipping away. So I'm going to try to read Numbers 8 through 10 and Mark 10:32 to 52. Hopefully at least they'll see me. I was down in the, I was down like below in those trees while they were up on one of these kind of things, so I could see them very easily. But I tried to get their attention and said, "Hey." I don't think they ever saw me because I'm a little bit camouflaged wearing this stuff. I don't know if they could tell which direction I was yelling from, but now that I'm up here, I can't imagine I'm sure they'll see me now if they come around this way. All right. Probably hear they're shooting in the video in the background because they're over there somewhere, and you know, bullet noises they travel pretty far. My foot is just not quite in the right spot there. It's better. Numbers chapter 8. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to Aaron and tell him, when you set up the 7 lamps, they are to light the area in front of the lampstand." And Aaron did so. He set up the lamps facing toward the front of the lampstand, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. This is how the lampstand was constructed. It was made of hammered gold from its base to its blossoms, fashioned according to the pattern the Lord had shown Moses. Again the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the Levites from among the Israelites and make them ceremonially clean. This is what you must do to cleanse them. Sprinkle them with the water of purification. Have them shave their whole bodies and wash their clothes, and so purify themselves. Then have them take a young bull with its grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, and you are to take a second young bull for a sin offering. Bring the Levites before the tent of meeting and assemble the whole congregation of Israel. You are to present the Levites before the Lord and have the Israelites lay their hands upon them. Aaron is to present the Levites before the Lord as a wave offering from the sons of Israel, so that they may perform the service of the Lord. And the Levites are to lay their hands on the heads of the bulls and offer to the Lord one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering to make atonement for the Levites. You are to have the Levites stand before Aaron and his sons and then present them before the Lord as a wave offering. In this way you shall separate the Levites from the rest of the Israelites, and the Levites will belong to me. After you have cleansed them and presented them as a wave offering, they may come to serve at the tent of meeting. For the Levites have been wholly given to me from among the sons of Israel. I have taken them for myself in place of all who come first from the womb, the firstborn of all the sons of Israel. For every firstborn male in Israel is mine, both man and beast. I set them apart for myself on the day I struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. But I have taken the Levites in place of all the firstborn among the sons of Israel. And I have given the Levites as a gift to Aaron and his sons from among the Israelites to perform the service for the Israelites at the tent of meeting and to make atonement on their behalf, so that no plague will come against the Israelites when they approach the sanctuary." So Moses, Aaron, and the whole congregation of Israel did with the Levites everything that the Lord had commanded Moses they should do. The Levites purified themselves and washed their clothes, and Aaron presented them as a wave offering before the Lord. Aaron also made atonement for them to cleanse them. After that, the Levites came to perform their service at the tent of meeting in the presence of Aaron and his sons. Thus they did with the Levites just as the Lord had commanded Moses. And the Lord said to Moses, "This applies to the Levites. Men 25 years of age or older shall enter to perform the service in the work at the tent of meeting. But at the age of 50 they must retire from performing the work and no longer serve. After that they may assist their brothers in fulfilling their duties at the tent of meeting, but they themselves are not to do the work. This is how you are to assign responsibilities to the Levites." Sounded like some rock fell over there. Not sure what that was. There's so many cool places to climb here. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but that piece right there is nothing keeping that from falling over. I don't know how heavy it is, but probably somebody could just push it over. And then even some of these other peaks here, they're not really connected. This one I'm on is very large and sturdy, so I'm not worried about it falling, but there was this really cool spot down there by these flowers I was hoping to be able to record or stream, but there was zero signal down there, so I had to climb up here to get this shot. There's another shot over there I can't wait to get because it'll be even cooler. All right, let's keep going on this reading. Numbers chapter 9. In the first month of the second year after Israel had come out of the land of Egypt, the Lord spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. The Israelites are to observe the Passover at its appointed time. You are to observe it at the appointed time, at twilight, on the 14th day of this month, in accordance with its statutes and ordinances. So Moses told the Israelites to observe the Passover, and they did so in the wilderness of Sinai at twilight on the 14th day of the first month. The Israelites did everything just as the Lord had commanded Moses. But there were some men who were unclean due to a dead body, so they could not observe the Passover on that day. And they came before Moses and Aaron that same day, and said to Moses, "We are unclean because of a dead body. But why should we be excluded from presenting the Lord's offering with the other Israelites at the appointed time?" "Wait here until I find out what the Lord commands concerning you," Moses replied. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites, when any one of you or your descendants is unclean because of a dead body, or is away on a journey, he may still observe the Passover to the Lord. Such people are to observe it at twilight on the 14th day of the second month. They are to eat the lamb, together with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. They may not leave any of it until morning, or break any of its bones. They must observe the Passover according to all its statutes. But if a man who is ceremonially clean and is not on a journey still fails to observe the Passover, he must be cut off from his people because he did not present the Lord's offering at its appointed time. That man will bear the consequences of his sin. If a foreigner dwelling among you wants to observe the Passover to the Lord, he is to do so according to the Passover statute and its ordinances. You are to apply the same statute to both the foreigner and the native of the land. On the day that the tabernacle, the tent of the testimony, was set up, the cloud covered it and appeared like fire above the tabernacle from evening till morning. It remained that way continually. The cloud would cover the tabernacle by day, and at night it would appear like fire. Whenever the cloud was lifted from above the tent, the Israelites would set out, and wherever the cloud settled, there the Israelites would camp. At the Lord's command, the Israelites set out, and at the Lord's command they camped. As long as the cloud remained over the tabernacle, they remained encamped. Even when the cloud lingered over the tabernacle for many days, the Israelites kept the Lord's charge and did not set out. Sometimes the cloud remained over the tabernacle for only a few days, and they would camp at the Lord's command and set out at the Lord's command. Sometimes the cloud remained only from evening until morning, and when it lifted in the morning, they would set out. Whether it was by day or by night, when the cloud was taken up, they would set out. Whether the cloud lingered for 2 days, a month, or longer, the Israelites camped and did not set out as long as the cloud remained over the tabernacle. But when it was lifted, they would set out. They camped at the Lord's command, and they set out at the Lord's command. They carried out the Lord's charge according to his command through Moses. I actually brought my chair today, which I don't know if I'll even be able to use it on all these weird rocks. Sitting on the rocks is totally fine, except that it's incredibly uncomfortable. I think I need to put some sunscreen on after this reading because it's I'm getting on my nose and I feel like on my neck too. I don't really like huge, goofy looking hats, but they do have their practical purpose for keeping the sun off of me. I really like having this hat. I mean, it saved me from really, most days it keeps me from having to put sunscreen on, but days like this where there's a lot of sun and I'm in weird, out in the open exposed, I kind of need to put sunscreen on the areas that it doesn't cover. Those goofy kinds with like the shield on the back, like I'm tempted to get one just because they're so useful, but they look really goofy. But anyway. All right, got another long chapter in Numbers. I was going to say something about that last chapter. As I was reading it, something stood out, but I can't remember what it was. I've always thought it was interesting that the whole thing, like they camp here for one day, they camp here for 2 weeks, they camp here for a month, and that whole scenario lasted for 40 years. It's amazing to me to think of that. Because when you look at the map, you can, I don't know, they don't necessarily have like a trail of where the Israelites wandered for 40 years, like they have for Paul's missionary journeys. They kind of have like sort of routes that he supposedly took. They don't have that much detail for the Israelite stuff as far as I know. They have a few points of reference that they talk about, but it would be hard to know, did they just keep going in circles? Because the area that they were, I mean, it's a big area, but not so large that if they, it's not like they were just wandering aimlessly, because they were literally going where God told them to go. So they probably, it's not like they didn't know which way was west, east, north, and south and were totally lost. They were literally following God all that time. And I would imagine that some people were just like, what are we doing? Why don't we, go towards a destination or have a, some specific goal in mind? I don't know what they were thinking, but I would imagine it would feel kind of strange just camping the whole time and wondering when you're ever going to reach some kind of destination. Honestly, I think I would enjoy a lot of aspects of it, like the adventure, feel like camping, roughing it. It'd be kind of cool, actually. Kind of like back when I was young, I went to this camp meeting with the church denomination I was in, and a bunch of churches from all over the state came together and had this, like, a bunch of services, and they owned this big camp, and it was really fun. And I imagine sort of experiencing just a tiny taste of what the Israelites experienced when I got to do stuff like that, because you'd be camping with like 2 million people all in, I'm sure they're spread out, but I can imagine that, like, around 2 million people, like, having to pack up on short notice and head off to the next place. I mean, the other thing is, like, I don't know if the climate changed, but the way that the Middle East is now, like, the area that they were camping is very dry and hot. So man, that would be rough. But yeah, like, I would enjoy it a lot if it was like in mountains and rivers and stuff like this, but just camping out in the desert, oh man, that would be very much a struggle. I would imagine probably the prevailing feeling, just from my own human experience, would be frustration, and like some of them probably doubted, like, what's going on, and that's probably why they complain so much, about food and water and all those things that we read about. I mean, it kind of makes sense when you think of the context of them just wandering for 40 years in probably a desert, basically, unless the land was different back then. But yeah, when you actually put it in those terms, which I don't know if that I've really thought about it that much, but being in a place like this kind of reminds me of, the sandstone and dryness that they have over there, so it kind of made it a little bit more real for me, I guess, at that moment when I realized how it probably was. Okay, I didn't finish this chapter, did I? I don't think so. No. Numbers chapter 10. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Make 2 trumpets of hammered silver to be used for calling the congregation and for having the camp set out. When both are sounded, the whole congregation is to assemble before you at the entrance to the tent of meeting. But if only one is sounded, then the leaders, the heads of the clans of Israel, are to gather before you. When you sound short blasts, the camps that lie on the east side are to set out. When you sound the short blasts a second time, the camps that lie on the south side are to set out. The blasts are to signal them to set out. To convene the assembly, you are to sound long blasts, not short ones. The sons of Aaron, the priests, are to sound the trumpets. This shall be a permanent statute for you and the generations to come. When you enter into battle in your land against an adversary who attacks you, sound short blasts on the trumpets, and you will be remembered before the Lord your God and saved from your enemies. And on your joyous occasions, your appointed feasts, and the beginning of each month, you are to blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, to serve as a reminder for you before your God. I am the Lord your God. On the 20th day of the 2nd month of the 2nd year, the cloud was lifted from above the tabernacle of the testimony. And the Israelites set out from the wilderness of Sinai, traveling from place to place until the cloud settled in the wilderness of Paran. They set out this first time according to the Lord's command through Moses. First, the divisions of the camp of Judah set out under their standard, with Nahshon, son of Amminadab, in command. Nethanel, son of Zuar, was over the division of the tribe of Issachar, and Eliab, son of Helon, was over the division of the tribe of Zebulun. Then the tabernacle was taken down, and the Gershonites and the Merarites set out, transporting it. Then the divisions of the camp of Reuben set out under their standard, with Elizur, son of Shedeur, in command. Shelumiel, son of Zerushadai, was over the division of the tribe of Simeon, and Eliasaph, son of Duel, was over the division of the tribe of Gad. Then the Kohathites set out, transporting the holy objects. The tabernacle was to be set up before their arrival. Next, the divisions of the camp of Ephraim set out under their standard, with Elishama, son of Ammihud, in command. Gamaliel, son of Pedazur, was over the division of the tribe of Manasseh, and Abidan, son of Gideoni, was over the division of the tribe of Benjamin. Finally, the divisions of the camp of Dan set out under their standard, serving as the rear guard for all units, with Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai, in command. Pagiel, son of Okran, was over the division of the tribe of Asher, and Ahira, son of Enan, was over the division of the tribe of Naphtali. This was the order of the march for the Israelite divisions as they set out. Then Moses said to Hobab, the son of Moses' father-in-law, Reuel the Midianite, "We are setting out for the place of which the Lord said, 'I will give it to you.' Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good things to Israel." "I will not go," Hobab replied. "Instead, I am going back to my own land and my own people." "Please do not leave us," Moses said, since you know where we should camp in the wilderness, and you can serve as our eyes. If you come with us, we will share with you whatever good things the Lord gives us." So they set out on a 3-day journey from the mountain of the Lord, with the ark of the covenant of the Lord traveling ahead of them for those 3 days to seek a resting place for them. And the cloud of the Lord was over them by day when they set out from the camp. Whenever the ark set out, Moses would say, "Rise up, O Lord, may your enemies be scattered. May those who hate you flee before you." And when it came to rest, he would say, "Return, O Lord, to the countless thousands of Israel." I remember reading that last year or sometime recently and thinking it was kind of funny and interesting that they tried to convince Reuel or Jethro. I don't know. I think Jethro and Reuel are the same person. It's probably translated different ways in different passages. But anyway, they're trying to convince his son, I think, or one of his relatives to come with them because they knew he would know the lay of the land and like where good camping spots are, like a guide. Funny thing is, though, God said, like, I'll tell you where to camp. So I don't know. That seems kind of funny. Like if I was him, I'd be like, wait a minute, didn't I just heard all that stuff that you were talking about. So you don't need me. But it's interesting anyway. If he did go, I'm sure God both allowed it and planned it and used whatever skills or knowledge that he had. Just, God does command us and he knows everything and all that stuff, but he likes to use our skills and abilities, even though he doesn't technically need anything from us, but he's pleased to allow us to take part, and that's what the Levites were able to do, and it's kind of cool when you feel like you have a purpose and you like have something you can do in God's kingdom or in the church or just in your family or with your friends. It's just nice sometimes to feel useful, and it's cool that God, like, even though he doesn't need us, he allows us to take part. I'm going in circles with what I'm saying, but yeah, it's just cool. I like it. Anyway, my phone is all sorts of messed up. Need to turn the screen on always. Settings, it keeps timing out. Okay. One more chapter, partial chapter in Mark, and then I'll be done here, and I'm going to head to the next place. Try to keep these short. If I was live streaming, I would be saying all this stuff, so it's kind of the same as that, and except that there's nobody here. But the ironic thing is that usually there's nobody here when I'm live streaming either, so it's not that different. But anyway, I'll probably upload these unedited, even though they'll be a little bit goofy and awkward, but everything I do is goofy and awkward. All right, I'll shut up. Mark chapter 10, starting in verse 32. As they were going up the road to Jerusalem, Jesus was walking ahead of them. The disciples were amazed, but those who followed were afraid. Again, Jesus took the 12 aside and began to tell them what was going to happen to him. Look, we are going up to Jerusalem, and the Son of Man will be delivered over to the chief priests and scribes. They will condemn him to death and will deliver him over to the Gentiles, who will mock him and spit on him and flog him and kill him. And after 3 days he will rise again. Then James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came to Jesus and declared, "Teacher, we want you to do for us whatever we ask." "What do you want me to do for you?" he inquired. They answered, "Grant that one of us may sit at your right hand and the other at your left in your glory." "You do not know what you are asking," Jesus replied. "Can you drink the cup I will drink, or be baptized with the baptism I will undergo?" "We can." "We can," the brothers answered. "You will drink the cup that I drink," Jesus said, "and you will be baptized with the baptism that I undergo. But to sit at my right or left is not mine to grant. These seats belong to those for whom they have been prepared." When the 10 heard about this, they became indignant with James and John. So Jesus called them together and said, "You know that those regarded as rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their superiors exercise authority over them. But it shall not be this way among you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be the slave of all. For even the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Next they came to Jericho, and as Jesus and his disciples were leaving Jericho with a large crowd, a blind beggar named Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, was sitting beside the road. When he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to cry out, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many people admonished him to be silent, but he cried out all the louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." Jesus stopped and said, "Call him." So they called the blind man. "Take courage," they said. "Get up. He is calling for you." Throwing off his cloak, Bartimaeus jumped up and came to Jesus. "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus asked. "Rabboni," said the blind man, "let me see again." "Go," said Jesus, "your faith has healed you." And immediately he received his sight and followed Jesus along the road. All right, I think I'm going to waste no time. I'll end this stream, or video rather. Hopefully it recorded. That's never really known. I don't know how this program works, if it doesn't have signal enough to live stream, if it's still going to record, but I think it works. So anyway, I want to get out of the sun, get some sunscreen on, and then get to the next place before I run out of time today. Just all this delays with the gun shooting guys is kind of not set me on edge, but I'm just like always looking like, I hear the guns, where are they, what are they doing? So anyway, I will head out. So thanks for joining me. I'll be back relatively soon, but you won't know how long it is because it'll take me a long time to get these uploaded. But all right, we'll catch you later.